sometimes in life we can all be our very own worst enemies, can't we? Do you know how sometimes we say things or we communicate in a certain way? I mean, sometimes the way that we communicate to ourselves isn't always the most helpful and useful communications that we could be having, let alone with anyone else. Never mind ourselves. I mean, think about some of the stories that we sometimes tell ourselves. You know, I can't do this. I couldn't do that. Oh, that would be impossible. I would never be able to do this. I would never be able to do that. Kind of as if that we all have limitations in life. Kind of like there's some things that only certain people can do, of certain backgrounds and of certain sized bank accounts, and of people who have certain skill sets. Kind of like there's some people in life who have all the gifts, who have all of the strategies, who have all of the skills, and then there's sometimes just us who are limited by nature. Now, based on what you know so far, based on what we've discussed throughout this course, do we actually really think that we have any limitations in life, or by now would you be willing to consider that the only limitations that we actually have in life are limitations that we perceive? And remember, in life, we have this habit as human beings of responding more to our perception of reality than reality itself. So we're looking at NLP strategies now, aren't we? And I'm guessing that what I'm going to share with you in this video is something that you might want to take an idea, a life lesson you might want to learn, and package up in your own way. Because I'm going to tell you a story in this video that's very, very true for me. I'm going to share with you how it was that I came to appreciate that absolutely everything and anything is accomplishable and achievable in life. Because when we don't fundamentally understand and accept this, we will potentially spend anything up to an entire lifetime going round and round in circles, not pursuing the things that we want to pursue, not reaching for the stars, not going for our goals, and not stepping outside of the comfort zone and into this place of uncertainty, which is incidentally the only place where we grow and develop as human beings. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Kane, this is a fantastic introduction, but you've got a balloon in your hand, and there's some balloons on the board behind you. What is going on here? Well, this video I'm going to go a little bit illustrative on you to show you how what I've mentioned and the things that I've discussed throughout this section so far are in fact true. Because it's one thing understanding or thinking that you understand or thinking that you know that all things are achievable on a head level, but if you have any problems with this idea on a heart level, well, this is going to be the reason why you don't and why you haven't accomplished all the things that you have wanted to accomplish throughout life up until now. And what's true for you and me is true for other people as well. You know, if I was to go back around about 3 years ago, if someone had told me, they said, Kane, you are going to be teaching NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, to an international audience of in excess of 50, 60, 70,000 people, do you know what I would have done? I would have laughed. I would have said, "Yeah, right. You know, I just work with clients. I just use this stuff on other people. You know, me teaching this stuff? No way. I could never do that." All right. I mean, at the time, yes, I was in the process of creating a range of self-help courses, but I never thought for a second I would one day be actually standing in front of you right now, presenting this information in this way. Why? Because I hadn't yet mastered my own personal communication skills back then. I hadn't really developed myself as a teacher, as an actual educator. I guess what you might have said back then that I believed that my ability was in question. You know, I would always have said something like, you know, no, I would never be able to do that. No, I couldn't do that, as if there was something deficit within me, like my ability genuinely really was in question. And if you think about it, this is all to do with confidence in life, isn't it? Do you remember in one of the earlier sections of the course we discussed the 3 realms of confidence? I mean, the 3 areas in which we are impacted by low confidence, or low self-esteem in life. And it's important we understand this because as NLP practitioners, you're going to experience countless of men and women coming to you because of problems in one of these three areas. I mean, in life, we'll experience low confidence or low self-esteem if there is any doubt inside of our minds or inside of our hearts in relation to how competent we are at doing the things that we do. We're going to experience low confidence or low self-esteem if there's any question in regards to our ability to learn and solve problems. Now, again, this little problem here can stem, for many of us, from back in our educational experience, back when we were children. I mean, if we have been raised and if we learned in an old school schooling system or educational environment, then it might have been the case that you, like me, had been called names. You've been put in the lower groups as a child. You were perhaps called dyslexic, or you were given one of these social labels that really do so much damage to people in life. And all of these things can really impact the belief that we have in our ability to learn and solve problems. And what I'm going to suggest is that this is one of actually the main sticking points that holds people back from getting out there and pursuing their goals, their dreams, and their ambitions in life. Because here's the thing: if we do have goals, if we do have ambitions, there's a pretty good chance that someone out there has already either done or has done something similar to that which we want to go on to accomplish. Which means that if we can just deal with the confidence issues, i.e., the belief that we have in our competence, which I'm hoping now will be developed now that we understand the learning process. And in terms of the belief that we have in our ability to learn and solve problems, well, if we now can come to better appreciate that we actually have the ability to accomplish anything that we put our minds to, then this leaves us with no other barriers in our life that would prevent us from just getting out there and extracting or establishing whatever strategy we need from anyone that we need to extract it from to get any result that we want to get in life. Now you might be thinking, Kane, this sounds like one of those motivational talks, and well, if it is seeming quite motivational, it's not intended to. It might be somewhat inspiring, but here I just want to show you what's actually true, and this is based upon something that I've actually already learned. So I understand how it is that I learn. I'm hoping that by now you understand how it is that you can most effectively learn. And here, all I want you to really help you appreciate is how you have the ability to accomplish anything that you put your mind to, anything that you will fully commit towards in life. You're ready? No. Going back around about 4 or 5 years ago, I was actually invited to a family that I know. It was their young child's birthday party. Now, to be honest with you, I've never had anything to do with kids, especially in my time in the military, traveling the world. Most of my teens, my 20s, and my early 30s were pretty much just about me. You know, getting established in life, building a business, all of that thing. For me, I always have viewed family as being something that I'll do perhaps in my late 30s, early 40s, once I've got an established business, and once I'm actually ready to commit the time to a young family that I'm ready to commit, and that's just what I want to do. So that's just my prerogative. But back then, I had no experience with kids, and to be honest with you, the thought of going to a kids' party really wasn't exciting me too much whatsoever. So I figured, well, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make the best of what's most likely going to be a bad situation. So I decided, if I'm going to go to this kid's birthday party, I'm going to go along there. I'm going to do something that's really going to steal the show. I don't just want to go along and be one of the boring adults, but rather I want to go along and do something that's going to propel me up to being one of the coolest adults at this party. So I went online, done a Google search, typed in Google things to do or cool things to do at children's birthday parties, and some of the options were magic tricks. There was face painting, and I thought, right, face painting, that's just not me. Magic tricks looks a little bit too complex, looks a little bit too time-consuming. I just wanted a quick fix, and then I saw the option, balloon modeling. Now, the problem that I had was that I didn't know back then how to make balloon animals. I didn't know how to make balloon swords or any of these things. Now, because of the vocabulary that I would use back then, all right, I would have said something to myself along the lines of, "I don't have the ability to make balloon dogs. I don't have the ability to make balloon swords," because sometimes in life, some people will confuse just simply not knowing how to do something, i.e., having not yet learned, with being able to do something. And I just want to spell this out so we can get crystal clear here. All right, that just because we don't know how to do something does not mean that we are not able to do something. You're with me now. This might be quite good news for a lot of people out there, but I really want to simplify this section so we can make these ideas as understandable as physically possible. Now, you might be saying, "Kane, these ideas are so straightforward. You're teaching us to suck eggs." Well, that's fantastic. You might not find these videos too overly insightful or eye-opening, but here's the thing: how many people do you think are out there who could really do with knowing this stuff? How many young people do you think are out there today who've committed their lives to dead-end jobs, working for peanuts wages, who are being spoken down to and treated like absolute garbage by their bosses, managers, employers, because they don't feel or believe that they're able to do anything more fulfilling or rewarding with their lives? So, whilst you might not have a problem with these ideas, I guarantee you right now that there are countless numbers of people out there in the world who do. So it's important that we just pay attention for what I'm about to present to you now. So, I used to assume that my ability was in question, and that was the reason why I wouldn't commit to doing many of the things that I really wanted to do in life. Until I was around about a week before this birthday party now, and I said, "Right, that's it. I'm gonna just go for it. I'm gonna go online, look at YouTube, and see if there's any video tutorials about how to create balloon things." So I ended up going onto this Balloon Man's YouTube channel, and his introduction channel video said, "Listen, before you watch any other videos on this channel, first things first, go to this link, buy yourself a balloon pump, buy yourself a bag of balloons, and then after that you're going to find a lot more value in the rest of the videos that I share with you." So that's what I've done. I followed the link. I bought a balloon pump, bought a bag of balloons, and within 2 days they arrived through the post. Now I went back to the YouTube channel, and the guy literally presented me with a tutorial on how to create balloon dogs. Now, I previously would have said that I don't have the ability to make balloon dogs, but all that I done was I just simply followed the 10 to 12 different steps that he presented to me in slow time that went something like this. Ta-da! I just created my first ever balloon dog. Now, to be honest with you, I have given this presentation to groups of young people in the past, and I've often got caught out stuck when the dog has popped or something like that. And this might be the first time that the dog has ever not popped on me. So, big round of applause for me. But what I've just done here is I've just presented you with the exact same strategy that I was presented with to make a balloon dog. Now, how do you think I felt then about tackling the idea of making balloon elephants, balloon swords, balloon flowers, balloon hats, balloon monkeys, balloon this, balloon cats, balloon rats? It's probably fair to say that I didn't feel quite so intimidated. Why? Because I'd actually just proved myself wrong. When I previously said that I didn't have the ability to make a balloon dog, I just established that I actually really did. I guess what I want to leave you with here in this video is the idea that it doesn't really matter what it is that you want to go on and accomplish in life. It might be the case you want to build a business, you want to build a family, you want to write a book. Someday you might want to create online video courses such as this. Well, if you want to do any of these things, you might want to fly to the moon. I've got no idea. What I'm saying is that your ability to accomplish anything in life has never been in question. It is not in question today, nor will it ever be in question at some point in the future. Why? Because we all have the ability to do anything that we turn our minds towards. But here's the thing: what we're not always going to have in life is the desire to do all things. So what I'm going to suggest is that if there is a specific result that you want in your life, or that you want to help your future clients get in life, well, if they have the desire, desire is desire. We either have it or we don't. Ability for all of us never has been, nor ever will be, in question, because we're human beings. The only element of this strategy for success, if you like, for personal accomplishment in life, we've got the ability to do all things if we have the desire to get a specific result. All that's ever going to be left for us to establish is a relevant and an appropriate strategy. Because once we have the relevant and appropriate strategy, my friend, there's absolutely no limits to what it is that we or our clients can get ourselves out there to accomplish in life. So I hope I've made myself clear here. Hope this makes sense, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in the next clip.